So, as I'm setting down to film this, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard is officially over, and Amber Heard has been pretty much eviscerated. She's going to lose tens of millions of dollars and has been found guilty of defamation. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. I know this is not something I've covered very much for a lot of different reasons, but there's some really grand points I think we can make here with this landmark case. First off, this brings to light something that's very important to me, and that's women can be abusers. I mean, obviously, men can be abusive, and men very frequently are abusive. And that's a thing that women have to deal with. But women can be abusers too. And here, in the audio tapes, in the photos, in the evidence, in her own admission, Amber Heard did things that were emotionally abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive. And that's now proven in the court of law beyond a shadow of any doubt. When we as men come forward, we are just never believed. People tell us, you're bigger than her, right? How could she possibly do that to her? Well, why would you let her do that to you? That's when it comes to the physical abuse, the emotional abuse. That's just how women are. Well, you must have done something to upset her, right? You get victim blamed, you get doubted, you get gaslit, it's been historically very difficult for men to be supported and trusted and loved in these situations. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here. If back in 2016, Johnny Depp came out and said, I was in this relationship with Amber Heard, she was abusive to me, she cut off my finger, how would you have reacted back then? Probably fairly different than we're acting now. I really, really hope we are entering an era of hashtag men too, where men come forward and they talk about the abuse of women in Hollywood, women in their homes, women in politics, because this stuff is common. I don't know the statistics. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how many more men are abusive than women. I just know that some women are abusive and some women get away with it, and a lot of men are afraid to talk about it. And I really hope that changes, and I hope that you and I and everybody else can be supportive of the men that choose to come forward in this new era. But the big thing to talk about here is the fact that Amber Heard made false allegations. She used her platform. She weaponized the ACLU and their platform to attack a man that she was in an abusive relationship for several years with, doing abusive things to him. And I'm not going to say that Johnny Depp was perfect or anything close to it. I'm just saying nobody deserves that nightmare that they found themselves locked in. And then once that nightmare is over, for Amber Heard to continue to use everything at her power, at her discretion, to continue to abuse the man was absolutely the wrong way to go. And a jury discovered that today, and they agreed upon that, and I'm just so glad they did. I mean, obviously, when a lot of women get out of an abusive relationship, they're terrified. You know, there's always fear of physical retaliation, a fear of death. They have to go into hiding. They have to be extra careful. Sometimes they literally will move across the country. Women can retaliate too, though, and even though it might not be as physical in nature, they will go to character assassination if they were trying to continue that cycle of abuse. And it makes it exceptionally difficult for the women who are escaping actually abusive men to escape them. I mean, what Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp here is disgusting and awful and deplorable, and no one should ever have to do that, and she shouldn't get away with getting to do it. But what she did to every woman who is currently in an abusive relationship, who's trying to get out of it, she's made it more difficult for them to come forward, more difficult for them to be believed and trusted. They need now more proof and more everything else, and they're going to seem like retaliated witches the way Amber Heard has been found guilty to do. She has done tremendous amounts of damage to every woman out there who's currently trapped by a man who harms them. Relationships alone are complicated enough. Then when someone is being abused, it's so difficult to terminate, to escape, to get away from it. And this type of thing complicates it even further and even more so. And Amber Heard knowingly, willingly did that. To what? Extend the abuse on Johnny Depp because she felt Johnny didn't treat her right, because for whatever reason. This is, and the poor women that'll suffer for it. Hope it keeps her awake at night. This is her legacy. Not Aquaman, not Aquaman 2, not Zombieland, none of her bit roles in shitty movies. This is her legacy now. The damage she's done to women. This verdict looks like it's going to ultimately ruin her life. She's not likely to get work moving forward. I'd be very surprised if she did. I don't know how much money she has saved or how much money she's got in the bank account, but this settlement is a big one. I mean, tens of millions of dollars. I cannot cannot imagine her being able to financially survive this. And that's deserved because she did at least that much damage to Johnny Depp's career. I'm glad he's getting the money. I'm glad that he's getting the settlement. I mean, he deserves it. And hopefully he'll start getting roles again. Hopefully he'll start being able to do what he loves to do again. And I hope that's the case. Maybe not, because again, he didn't come across exactly as a shining, wonderful, perfect person throughout this trial, but certainly no worse than anyone else in Hollywood, I feel like, most days. But I truly hope, deep in my heart of hearts, that every time Amber Heard auditions for a role and gets turned down, her agent won't return her calls, or she's working off the debt that she might owe to Johnny Depp, or cutting a check to make it. I hope she remembers all of the people trapped in abusive relationships, all of the miserable, unhappy women who are desperate to escape and now find it even more difficult to do so because of her actions, because of her choice to try to gaslight us all. And I hope that keeps her awake at night. And I hope it propels her into becoming a better person, choosing to do better things, and, I don't know, maybe helping women who are in that situation moving forward. Wouldn't that be cool? An Amber Heard charity designed to help battered women escape awful homes. Probably not going to happen, but it sure would be cool. Let me in on a personal note. I followed this trial fairly closely towards the end. At first, I kind of tried to ignore it, but I found myself unable to. I wanted to cover it. I wanted to live stream it. I wanted to talk about it, just like it seems like every other creator in my timeline chose to do. But it's far too close to me at home for things that you obviously know about. Like, I've been falsely accused by a woman. And then on top of that, I grew up in an abusive home where my mother was the major perpetrator of that abuse. So I felt like I was too close to this situation to be able to talk about it subjectively, or I'm sorry, objectively. I was always going to bring myself into it the way I am right now, and that's not a good thing. So I did not necessarily want to do that. Also, if you wanted coverage, you could look at literally every other YouTube channel because everybody's doing it. But regardless, I had to share this one moment of vindication because as someone who's abused by a woman, I'm glad to see a woman who did that abuse pay for what she did. And as someone who was falsely accused, I'm glad to see a woman who's falsely accused, somebody like Johnny Depp, pay for what they've done. I don't normally indulge in schadenfreude and the downfall of other people. I'm more excited about the fact that there's justice in the world. And even if we don't all get it, there's a little bit of justice for Johnny today, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's worth talking about. I think that's worth celebrating. So, what a world. Now, as always, this is one man's opinion. I could be wrong. Guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. And know, if you ever find yourself being abused by a woman, speak about it. Be brave. Be strong. The people that don't believe you, the people that don't trust you, find proof, find receipts, and find the people that do believe you. And love them. And for the women that are being abused out there, I'm sorry for as awful and as complicated as this is proving to be and how awful and complicated Amber Heard has made it. But know you're strong. You're amazing. I know one day you'll be able to do the right thing.